All right, so thank you for joining us today for this event, which is sponsored by the Albert Shanker Institute and the American Federation of Teachers. My name is Tish Olshefski, and I'm with the American Federation of Teachers. I'm Senior Assistant to the Secretary-Treasurer, and I'm also the staff person who oversees a working group on early childhood education. I think that's why I got recruited, because of the topic today. Our panelists are here today to talk about the subject of positive alternatives to suspending and expelling misbehaving students in early childhood education. And of course, in this age of social media, we do have a hashtag for this event. So all of you tweeters and Twitterers out there, the hashtag is hashtag ECE behavior. And I won't spell behavior for you because I assume everyone knows how to spell that. I'm just going to start with a few random tidbits of data and stories that I've read in preparation for this, and I hope I'm not stepping on Ralph's toes here. I did find one common word in the many articles and reports that I had read in the last few weeks, and that word was shocking. Every single, now maybe somebody was quoted repeatedly, but the word shocking was used over and over and over about suspensions and expulsions in early childhood. One thing that I read, which we've all heard, is from a study released in 2014 that black children make up 18% of preschoolers, but 48% of preschool suspensions. One school in a charter school network in New York issued 44 out-of-school suspensions to just 203 kindergartners and first graders. The 44 suspensions at this school were issued to just 11 kindergartners and first graders. One child was suspended 12 times. At another school in the same network, 101 suspensions went to just 32 students. I read of a young black mother in Washington, D.C., herself a product of multiple suspensions beginning in preschool. She writes of her struggle to make sure her 3- and 4-year-old sons, who were suspended a combined total of 8 times in 2014, get to stay in school where they can thrive alongside their peers who don't face the same harsh punishments. And then a study of expulsions by Yale's Edward Ziegler Center found that large class size and long preschool days correlate with higher rates of expulsion, as do classrooms where less time is devoted to make-believe play and more time to flashcards and worksheets, as do classrooms where teachers report a high degree of job stress. Those are just a few things that I read, as I said, and we know the problems, and they're very big. Severely limiting or banning suspensions in pre-K and the early grades, as has been done in Minneapolis and Washington, D.C. and Connecticut and other places, is one small part of the answer, but it's not enough. We're here today to talk about what we must do as advocates for young children and as a profession to better support students and families and teachers and schools so that all kids from all backgrounds have the safe and nurturing environments they need. Environments that will help them build the social and emotional skills they need to succeed in the vitally important early grades and through the rest of their years in school. So on our panel today, we're starting with the big picture. That's my friend Ralph, and drilling down from there. Our speakers are Ralph Smith, Senior Vice President and Managing Director of the Campaign for Grade Level Reading within the Annie E. Casey Foundation. Ralph's work at Annie Casey and previously in Philadelphia has informed his views about the important interplay between what happens to kids in schools and what is going on in their lives at home and communities. We all know that children can't reach the critical milestone of reading on grade level if they aren't actually in school developing the skills they need to succeed. Next is Lisa Foxx, professor and co-director of the Florida Center for Inclusive Communities in the Department of Child and Family Studies at the College of Behavioral and Community Sciences. She probably has a very, very large business card. Lisa is one of the primary developers of the pyramid model for supporting the social emotional competence of infants and young children. I believe that's what she's going to talk about today. She's also part of the network of university-based technical assistance centers for social and emotional intervention of young children, or for young children. We can learn so much from her about adapting proven practices to early childhood, which can then better inform what schools should be doing. Tala Mansa is Deputy Executive Director of the Morningside Center for Teaching Social Responsibility. She serves on New York Mayor de Blasio's Commission on School Climate and Culture and also on the Chancellor's Commission on Social and Emotional Learning. She and her program provide technical assistance to schools in New York City on social and emotional restorative practices. This is an excellent example of a school-based program that can be replicated to build healthy relationships in schools and classrooms. And finally, we'll hear from Ken Zarafis, who's president of Education Austin, a merged AFT and NEA Union of Educators in Austin, Texas. We need good models for how we can make this happen on the ground with the input of school staff and parents, and they do exist. He's going to reflect on community schools in Austin and probably on some other things, but I know specifically on community schools. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to run right through our speakers, one right after the other in the order they're sitting. If you have questions, please jot them down on the note cards that you probably found on your chairs, or Regina back here in the corner has them as well. Write neatly, please, so I can read them. Note which speaker you want to respond. And anyone who is watching on the webinar, or anyone sitting in the room, if you prefer to tweet questions, you can do that to the hashtag that I said, which is ECE behavior. So I'm going to turn it over to Ralph, and we'll get started.